Okay, so let's get started. The goal here is we have this large PR from slash screen. We've got 52 comments on 52 commits in here that we've got to squash down to a handful, and then also rebase this because this is way out of date. So that's the goal. And if we look here on source tree, we can view more of a graphical representation of what we're looking at here. So let's go to the history. This green channel are all of the commits we were just looking at for this PR. And you can see here we've got a merge where it's been branched off into this other thread that needs to go away. And then down here we see another merge that actually started at a different point. So here, this blue line is probably the main tree. That's where this green branch starts, sort of, except right about here, it has another point that was merged in. So all of these yellow lines were merged in right here, and we can actually see that there's actually some duplicate commits in here. Here we have initial terrain 3D region implementation, which is also right here. And then fixed according to code review is duplicated. Sketch implementation, redid string parsing, and sketch implementation, maybe that one. And then changed save, here we go. And then sketch of add is here, and then fixed zeros. So all of these have been duplicated somehow. I don't know how. But when this was happening, it looks like the branch was merged into itself from two different points on the tree, and now they're duplicated in there. So we need to clean up all of this and clean up this other one, and then consolidate all of these down, and then rebase all of that off of this branch right here. So that's our agenda today, and it looks crazy. It looks super complicated, but it's actually not going to be that difficult. We'll be able to clean it up in about an hour to an hour and a half. I just got over being sick, so my voice is probably a little raspy, so I'm going to try to drink some tea and stuff while we talk. What I've already done beforehand is I've done a bunch of prep work to look at all of these different commits and kind of get a sense of what's in them. So I'll go over this in a little bit. I want to talk about some principles. So first of all, when you're working on GitHub and working with Git, never merge. Don't ever type git merge. Don't use sync. On GitHub desktop, there's this function called sync. No merging, no syncing, only allow GitHub to merge. Otherwise, you'll end up with stuff like this. Always check for updates or pull before you make any commits. Otherwise, you'll end up with stuff like this. So what had happened here is slash screen was working. I modified, let's see, not this one, because we're not worried about blue, we're just worried about yellow and green here. I added a commit to slash screen's PR. Slash screen did not download that commit. Instead, they made their own commit. And then they had a conflict because now they had, on the server, there was a commit that they did not download. And on their system, they made a commit, and the only thing they could do was merge the two, which made this mess here. Okay, the next thing that should be done is, as far as these principles, we want to split documentation, scripts, C++, demo files into separate commits. So let's look at some of these commits. Here, this initial terrain 3D implementation, we've got some C code, that's fine. More C code, more C. Okay, let's look at a few other examples. All right, here's a great example of what we do not want. This commit has a bunch of code in it, and then it has some demo files, and this is and we just don't need them in the same commit. First of all, if we need the demo files, they should be in a separate commit. Having these in different commits allows us to reorder commits, for instance, or merge them pretty easily. Having this one all combined there is a bit of a mess, and it makes this commit much more difficult to work with. So we'll clean up that a little bit. Okay, the merge we'll get rid of. Okay, I think I made my point there, is that we want to keep all of these things separate in different commits. And then once we have a working PR or something, at least it's building, then we can start squashing things. And of course, whenever you're committing, always carefully review what you're committing first. You only want to carefully commit things. And in this case, we don't need the project file at all, so that this is something that should have been caught during the committing process. Okay, and then when we get into conflicts, which will be towards the end of this discussion, we're generally going to want to favor head. I'll get into that a little later on. All right, so that's kind of a review of what's in here. Is we've got a lot of commits. Some of them have code like this for storage or the different C++ files. Some of them have demo files, and some of them are even duplicates and whatever. So so we have a plan, and we have an understanding of what's in here. So now let's get started consolidating this stuff, removing the duplicate commits. All of these are duplicate, the ones that I just highlighted. So we're going to get rid of all the duplicates. We're going to get rid of the merges. And then we're going to start gradually reordering and consolidating a lot of the code and a lot of the commits. So we're going to really hack up this branch. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a backup branch. So let's first check out this branch, and then I'm going to make a new branch. We'll call it chunks backup, and I'm not going to check it out. All this is going to do is create a tag. So we could totally destroy this resources chunk branch, and if I just completely mess it up, that's fine. We can just delete the whole thing, and we can go back to the backup. And even if this was tied to a PR, which this one is, it's fine. We can delete this, and we can rename this and push it back up into the PR on the server. We have basically like almost unlimited flexibility in what we can do on our own branches. The only thing we can't really do on GitHub is rename the branch that we are tied to right here, /screen resources chunk. So we can destroy all of these commits, we can redo them and make new branches, and then as long as we push it into this resources chunk branch on the server, GitHub will load it up just fine. Whatever we upload in there, GitHub won't care. The only thing we cannot do is rename this branch name. Okay, so now I have a backup. So let's get started on modifying this PR. Okay, so the tools predominantly going to be using is source tree for visual layout of the PRs. And then I'm going to be using Git on the command line. Let's confirm we're on the right branch. We are. Let's look at the log. Okay, so first we're going to do git rebase, interactive rebase, and we're going to go back. We've got 52 commits, but we do have some duplicates. I'm gonna say go back 70 commits. And then let's look at my list of commits here. And then let's search for initial. Did I spell that right? Initial. Okay. So we've got, there's the two initials. And the one that we want, I believe, is 4A 2E4. And we don't want F369. So let's look at the visual on that again. So here's the one that was merged from earlier, which looks like this is F369. It's also here. And the one that I do want is this one here, which is part of this green tree. So basically this whole yellow branch I could get rid of because it's all duplicate as we looked at earlier on. There's fixed zeros, there's fixed zeros. So as long as I get rid of fixed zeros all the way through initial terrain, initial 3D region implementation, we don't need any of those. And I can get rid of the whole yellow branch, including this merge. So let's see what we can do here. Okay, this 42E, that's the one that I want. F369. Is here. Okay. So instead of picking this commit, we're going to drop it. And then fixed according to code review. This is AFCD. That's the next one. I'm going to drop that. Sketch. Drop that. All the way down to fixed zeros. Okay. That's what my notes say. Looks like that's correct, which means that we're going to go from 3F10 on fixed zeros, and then the next commit we're going to use is 7C13. Which is right here, 7C13. Okay, let's try this. So I'm just going to drop those, and then I'm going to save this, and we will complete the interactive rebase. And it's a little bit of a messy display. Let's see, we got a conflict. This is describing a conflict. This says from between here and whatever's in here. So there's normally is code here between this section and the equals. In this case, there is none. It just means it's being deleted. And then everything between the equals and this sign is what is being added by this commit. And actually, look at that commit 7C13. 7C13. Oh, I do want that commit. So good thing I stopped to explain so that I could look at this. So what's happening here is that between those equal signs and this is being added by this commit. And I do want that. So let's undo all of that and let's delete the head in this case. Now let's do a rebase continue, which I did it from the menu before. Okay, I'm just gonna say okay. Now we have a few more conflicts. Let's see what's next. Okay, this is coming in from 28A2. 2A to A2. Change lots of little things. Okay, I probably want that. So let's not do head and we'll do delete the other part of it. Looks like that looks like code that we do want. Well, we'll find out. I'll show you how to check all of this stuff to make sure that that was correct or not. Okay, let's continue. Okay, great. That rebased properly. Well, I don't know if the code is accurate or not. I'm going to check that in just a second, but we got through the rebase. If we refresh this, okay. So now, remember I made a backup, resources chunks dot dash backup. We haven't really changed any code, except maybe mistakes I might have made during the rebasing. So what I'm going to do is git diff, and I'm going to compare across branches. So we have the current branch, which is resources chunks. We're just going to compare against resources chunks backup and see if there's any code differences. And there are none. So whatever I just did with managing those conflicts was correct because there's no code difference between the two branches. However, there should be one less merge and a whole bunch of less duplicate commits. So we're here now on the blue chain. And this blue chain goes all the way down here to fixed zeros. Let's look at this branch. And here's the initial terrain. Okay, so back from, let's say, May 9th on some code that I wrote. Here is /screen's first commit. And this continues up to fixed zero. So let's look at all the branches now, and we shouldn't have any more merges there.
I'm sorry. I thought it was an hour earlier than it was.
Hey, /screen. So thanks for joining us. You're joining us on Discord, where we've got a few viewers on YouTube. So we are in the middle of Yeah, we're 30 minutes into cleaning this up. So just
Yeah,
sit
super
tight.
sorry about that.
Thanks for joining us. So just sit tight and catch up a little bit. And I may have other questions for you as they come up.
Okay.
All right. So, okay, so this yellow channel is going to the backup, which we haven't changed. The yellow channel has merges in it. So we can basically ignore that. Okay. So what we just did actually got rid of it got rid of all the merges actually. So let's look at this again. And this will be a good review for you / me. So on the backup branch, which is here in yellow, if you follow the yellow down, here's a merge, which has one of my commits and then / screens commits, and then it merged in together. That was one of the commits that needs to, one of the branch merges that needed to be gotten rid of. And then back here, again in purple, this is where the PR started. / screen has initial terrain 3D all the way up to fixed zeros. So all of these commits are in there. And then starting here on the blue branch, we have initial terrain 3D all the way to fixed zeros. And they're both in that branch. So we have this like 7 duplicate commits or so that are in the branch twice. And they're tied together by this merge. We just dropped all of them. So if we're looking at just this current branch now on resources chunk, what we just rebased, here is the new initial commit, initial terrain 3D all the way up to fixed zeros. And we got rid of the duplicate. All of these ones that were duplicate are now gone. And here is my commit. Notice it has been merged in as well. So the merge has been dropped. Only the commits were kept. So that one rebase procedure got rid of both merges, got rid of all of the duplicates. So we got rid of all these. Can I cross these out? No, I don't know how. And we got rid of this merge. And then we consolidated some of the other ones. Okay, so first rebase procedure done and very successful. Next, step is, what do we want to do next? Got rid of the merges. So I want to start consolidating a lot of these PR commits. And then I want to split out some of the commits that are combined with a bunch of stuff that we don't need all in one commit. So we're going to start editing the individual commits and compressing some of them and getting rid of some others. So it looks like we've got 34 commits remaining. So let's do an interactive rebase again with, I don't know, 40 5 commits. Okay, here's the initial. So let's just start compressing some things. Where's the beginning of this one? Okay. So right now I'm just going to compress a lot of the code. All of these commits are just code. So in this session, we're not really going to go over any of the code. I don't care about any of it for this PR. The PR isn't even finished yet. We're just going through the process of consolidating all of this into manageable chunks, rebasing it. Okay, that's all code. Okay, so I want to edit this PR, this commit, and get rid of this project.Godot. So let's see, this is removed some, or rather 1CEF. All of these other ones we're going to fix up, which is the same as squash. It's just going to compress this PR and use the commit message of the first one, which is this. We're going to use this commit message. Actually, we're not going to use that commit message. We're going to reword it so that I can edit that commit message. And then we're going to fix up, meaning use that new commit message. And we're going all the way to until I see removed some exposed properties, which will be this one here. And we're going to edit this. And that's all we'll do. So we'll clean up all of these. Okay, all of those fix-ups are going to get compressed. First one is going to be reworded, renamed, the description is going to be edited. And then this one that is edited is going to be amended so that we can get rid of the project file. Okay, that's enough. A lot of changes already. Let's save that. Okay, here we are editing the commit message. So initial terrain 3D implementation, let's see. Terrain 3D region implementation. That's fine. Okay, commit message is edited. Now we've fast forwarded to that last commit that I have said that I wanted to edit it. And what I want to do is want to find that commit we were just looking at. And I want to reverse this hunk. To get rid of that change. Don't want it in this commit. And now I can get commit amend. Okay, it's asking to save the commit message. I don't want to change it. And that has now been rebased. So let's look at our current branch now. Oh, are we still in the middle of a commit? No. Why does this say detached head? Oh, okay. I need to continue the rebase. There. Okay. Now we've finished that interactive rebase. And now we've gone from 52 commits down to 27 commits. Here's the Terrain 3D region implementation. Notice it's got a new name. And it's got a bunch of code in it. And there's no, and here's the commit with that had the project file in it. Now that project file is gone. So we could continue squashing all of these. What else do we have? Oh, okay. We want to get rid of, I want to do basically the same thing and get rid of this demo files and separate the demo files from the code. And then we'll continue squashing the rest of these things. But let's do one more double check to make sure, because we've been rebasing, we've been working on the internal structure of this branch, but we want to make sure that we haven't actually made any changes to any of the code. It should be identical except for that project file we just got rid of. So let's do a diff on against our backup. Okay, no changes actually, which means that project file might have been added again in a different PR later, or maybe it was removed in a different commit. Okay, so far so good. We got rid of 2 merges, and we've cut the number of commits in half, and we have made 0 effective changes. The code is identical. Okay, there's a bunch of demo files that are removed. Here's where they were added. They shouldn't have been added, and they were removed in the next commit. All these.
Yeah, I knew this was a bad idea, but we were in the middle of diagnosing the rendering thing, and these were well, I thought these would have been needed until I found the workaround. I thought they would have been needed for the Godot maintainers to reproduce, which is why I removed them immediately afterwards. But yeah, it would be best just to strike them from the PR history just in general.
Yep. Okay, great. So we're gonna they were already removed anyway. We just want to get them out of the history. So in this, so let's start another interactive rebase. We can go down to, let's say, 30. And here's our first one. Okay, let's start. So this whole HMAP, this commit can be dropped, and it should pull all of this stuff out of the next one. So let's just drop this one. This is BB 93. Okay, we can drop that, and it should pull all of those resource files out of both commits, because the second one is where it is removing them, but that will become moot. All right, that's code. Oh, okay. we're going to come back to this importer. It shouldn't be removed. Okay, we'll come back to that stuff. Let's continue cleaning up code. Okay,
To be clear, that's the importer scene, not the importer.gd.
Yeah, is there a reason that you removed it from the PR?
Oh, did I remove the entire file?
Yeah, that's what that other commit was.
Okay, yeah, that shouldn't be. I was kind of panicking because I had accidentally staged my own commit. My own changes to the scene, which I didn't want to commit, and I tried to undo the change, but that didn't work. I work exclusively from the command line, in terms of Git. And so I think a lot of things that I think they do one thing, they might end up doing another. So I didn't mean to remove the entire file. I meant to just not change it.
Well, when we're done with this, you can go back and watch over this video and maybe learn some things about interactive rebasing for the future so that you can edit your commits. Because normally you're right. When you make a commit, you can't. Well, you make other commits to undo your changes, but it gives you a lot of extra history, and you need to know how to edit your commits, which is what we're doing right now. When you're working in a branch, you basically have unlimited ability to edit all of your commits. You just have to know how, which is what we're doing this session for. And then it's only stuff that once the branch is merged into the main tree, then that's the only place that you can't really edit commits without messing up all of your users' clones or whatever, their instances of the repository. Okay, let's continue on. So fixing property errors has resource files in it. We can compress the things prior to that point. Okay, actually I don't want to compress that one yet because it has these res files in it. And I want to get rid of the res files. And I want to get rid of the res files from there. Okay, so let's edit that one. It has res files in it. Okay, all of these files, all of these commits have these demo resource files in it. That's what we're getting rid of. Okay, there's the importer. We'll come back to that. Okay, this is just going to dump all of those terrain resource files. We're removing the files now, and then we will do we need it? Okay, we need to add it. And then amend it. Okay. What happened? We are, okay, we amended it. Now let's continue. Okay, so we have some conflicts with resource files. That's fine. I'm going to delete the new, so this is in a new commit. We're going to get rid of the terrain directory again. It has those resource files, and then add that directory, and then amend the commit. And then continue the rebase. Okay. Is this a different one? Yes, this is a different commit. So we're going to go through the same process again for the next one. Let's get rid of all of the resource files out of that directory. Amend the commit. And continue the rebase. All right, are we doing things properly? Okay, could not apply. Could not apply. So we are working through. These are not the same messages. We are working through the commits. It's just there were so many that had these files in them. Okay, now fixed map updating issues. Let's again remove, add, amend, and continue.
Why does this remove, add, amend routine work? Why is it doing anything?
They're all doing different steps. First thing is it's saying there's a conflict because I'm in the middle of editing I'm editing the commit. And it's saying the commit that you are coming from has deleted these resource files, which is true because I was editing it before. But this commit has these files in it also, so I have a conflict because the history says this file should be gone, but this commit says this file is supposed to be here. What do you want to do? So the first thing that so it comes up, here's the conflicts. So it gives me the option to edit and decide what I'm going to do with this conflict, which is whether these files exist or not. I am saying delete them. I don't want them. That's how we're going to handle this conflict. Is you're just going to delete the file. Then the next step is I'm editing a commit. So first I delete the files, and then I am adding those changes of deletion. I'm staging those changes. That's what git add is. It is staging the changes. That's the same thing as clicking the plus, which you can see now this is what's staged. And then I'm saying, okay, now let's edit this commit. So the commit that we just are in the middle of has some changes on terrain3d.cpp. Plus, previously it had 4 resource files, which now I'm editing the commit and I'm saying, okay, you don't have those resource files in this commit anymore. The only thing you have is this changes to terrain3d. So by amending this commit, that's what I'm saying. Now that's what's in that commit is these changes right here. That's it. The resource files that used to be there are gone. And then the last step is to continue the rebase onto the next step because we're in the middle of editing. I guess I don't have it on display. But we're in the middle of rebasing like 30 commits on an interactive rebase. That's what I started this command with. So when I did the interactive rebase, I flagged maybe 10 commits that all had these resource files in them. So that's what we're going through right now is editing each of these 10 commits or so to get rid of the resource files that are in this terrain3d directory. We're committing those changes of the conflicts, getting rid of those resource files. We're amending the commit. And then we're continuing on the rebase into the next commit. Does that answer your question?
I think so.
So this isn't like a special sequence of special codes that I've memorized or anything like that. This is just a part of the process of this particular situation that's come about based upon what was in what's in the PR, what we're actually editing. Okay, now we're done. And we're down to 16 commits, maybe. Although, why does this still say I'm in a detached head? Did I not continue? Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay, it just wasn't refreshed. So here's, now let's look and see. So all of these commits, there used to be a lot of commits with those resource files in there. I got rid of all of them. Now, we could do a diff, and the difference now is that the those resource files have been removed. We may keep them for the demo purposes for right now, for our demo on the PR, but I want them in a different commit. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to check them out, and I'm going to get them from resource chunks backup. So I'm checking out from this commit, which is the original backup, and then the terrain directory, which should have these resource files in there. Okay, there they are. Now I'll add them into a commit. We're going to make the message, call it add demo files. Okay, so now we can compare the difference between the current branch and the backup, and now they're identical. And so what I've done is I have gotten rid of the 10 or so commits that had the demo files in all of them, and instead I've extracted them into their own commit. And now we can go through and continue rebasing. So let's do 20 commits. Okay, here's the first one. And let's see what we can compress now. Okay, we don't need this. This demo file could be pulled out. Here's a project file that could be removed. And a lot of these things can be compressed. Okay, so let's cancel this for right now. What I want to do is I'm going to pull this out into its own commit. So I'm going to reverse this hunk, which is going to put it out here. And I will make a reverse commit, and then I'm going to reverse it again. So what I have now is I have a commit that is removing this content, and then I have another commit that is adding that content, which means what I can do is I can bring this commit all the way down here and merge it into this one, and it'll get rid of this file out of that commit, which will leave me with the other one that I just added. So basically, I'm separating a commit. I'm separating a commit by files. So here's that file in the additive. Here's that file in the negative. And this is the commit that I want to work on. So let's do that. Fixing property. Here it is. So what I'm going to do is take this undo demo. This is the negative. I'm going to move it up here. I'm going to squash that into this commit. So this has the node 3d.tscn that I don't want. Here's the negative commit that has the commit of removing that file, and we're going to merge those together, and it will drop this scene from that file. And then it adds it here. Okay. Except it was not a complete. Let's do it again. I added the contents, but apparently the file is still there. So instead, let's come to fixing. Let's edit this. Let's remove let's see, it's not even in here. Am I blind? No, there it is. Okay. Now that should remove it. Okay. So now let's continue. Okay, now we have a conflict. With nothing in it, okay. Yep. Okay, so it was picking it up when I added it the second time, which is what I do want. So there, it's been added. And it was a little bit messy. I was expecting it to be a nice clean drop. We had to edit it, but now that's been removed. So let's go back to the interactive rebase and start squashing these again. That's code, all code. Removed directory state from storage. We can drop this file. So we're going to do another edit. Okay, that's a separate file. That's a GD script, so we're going to leave that separate. Okay, now here's a new thing that you haven't seen yet, and that we can, well, you saw it a little bit earlier. I'm going to do it again. We can reorder these commits. It's very difficult to reorder commits if they have combined code, demo, resource files, and whatnot. But if they're separate, it's pretty easy to reorder them. So reverted to change that caused a merge conflict here. We're going to reorder that. So that added a line to the importer is going to come after. And then we can merge that in. Okay, oops. Can also get merged in. Okay, conversion wizard is GD script. That can stay separate. All right, here's a bunch of code. Okay, re-added old terrain 3D stuff. That's all code that can get merged in up there. Working on wizard. Okay, that's all conversion wizard stuff. So I'm within the stuff that is, let's say this is all C++ code right here. I'm maintaining the same order of commits as they were added. And for all this stuff, which is all GD script, I'm maintaining the same order within themselves. But the block of commits I'm reordering because the C++ and the GD script are two different sections. They're never going to conflict. So I can reorder them. Fixed storage. Okay, that's C++, that can come up here and get merged. Okay, this one I'm going to keep. Actually, so here's where /screen this importer was removed, and we don't want that. So added workaround to the rendering problem. We're going to edit this, and we're going to put that back. And then we're not going to do any more merging of the code until we get that cleaned up. Here's the demo files we're going to leave. Okay, so let's process all of these changes I just did. We reordered a bunch of the GD scripts in C++. We're going to merge in all of the C++. And then we're going to, on this one, we're going to add the importer scene back. And then this one, we're going to edit it to get rid of the Godot project file for C#. Remove directory state from storage. Yes, we're going to drop that. Okay, so we got a lot of changes queued up. Here we go. Okay, so first we're editing removed directory state from storage. We want to get rid of this. Okay, I did the reverse chunk. It should be in here now. There it is. So we can now just amend this. Try that again. Okay. Now we're editing the other commit, which is where we wanted to, we want to restore the import file, which is in add-ons, terrain 3D. Is it in tools? Yes. Okay, so there's no importer.tscn. So let's get check out. Okay, we can restore that file. Let's see. Okay, it looks like the same. No, it's not the same file. That's what I was concerned about. Okay. Okay, I think we're done with that. There, the project file was removed. Importer, conversion. Oh, we got some code in there that needs to be pulled out. Okay, that's been separated. Okay, we're nearly done with the compression. That's all code that can now be squashed. Okay, the importer things we're going to compress. Added a workaround. Oops. Added a workaround. Okay, this is code. Work on getting and then okay, we're gonna compress the 2 demo commits. We're gonna compress all of these conversion wizard stuff and the importer, and then the C++ is gonna get compressed. I'm renaming this to conversion wizard. Okay. So we have all of the code now compressed into one commit. We have a couple of pieces of code here that need to be pulled out. And we have the demo files. So let's just do this one little bit here. We're going to reverse these hunks. We'll remove that code. Then we'll do the opposite. And we'll see if we can get this one to take the code out of this commit. So we're going to remove the code, the C++ code out of this conversion wizard commit. And here you can see I just casually moved the demo files down to the bottom of the list just to reorder it. Okay. Let's see. There we go. C++ is now removed from this commit. It's in here, and now we'll compress it down into the rest of the C++ code. So here's add code. Okay. So now slash screen, we've got 52 commits and 2 merges compressed down into 3 commits. One with all code, C++ code, one with the conversion wizard and some GDScript stuff, and then the demo files. And it should be identical to our backup. No. No, it's different because importer.tscn you had removed out of your PR, you removed this file, but we don't actually want that file to be removed. So I added it back in. And then the project, we don't need that pulled out of. So basically I undid these 2 changes. All the rest of the code is identical.
All right. So to apply these to me, or I just would pull on my end and all of this would be synced up, right?
Not quite. So we have not rebased, but that'll be the next step. But all we've done is compressed your PR. It's still connected way back to the tree back here on May 9th. So we still need to rebase. But to answer your question is I will force push this branch. It'll overwrite your branch here on the server. Your local branch you cannot update it. What you'll have to do is delete your local branch, and then you can download your branch from the server again. Your new branch after I force pushed it. We could talk about that offline or online or whatever once the live stream is done, but that's basically what needs to happen is your local branch is messed up, so you just need to delete it or rename it, and then download the new one that will be on the server.
Okay. And then in backup, I wanted to well, I guess this can wait until after the rebase.
Okay.
I just had some questions about how I managed to screw that up so badly.
Okay, so first I'm gonna do another backup. I'm just making a new branch. So here is the original with all commits. Here is the one we just made that now has 3 commits in it, and then I just made another one, a backup of that with 3 commits in it before we get to the rebasing. So let's do the rebase now. We want to rebase off of main. So I'm going to just do a rebase right here. Okay, now we're going to have conflicts. So let's go through and start cleaning this stuff up. Give me a second, let me cough. Okay. Okay, so slash screen, this is where your knowledge of your branch and my knowledge of the main tree comes together. So what I have here is all of the commits between May 9th when we started this, when we started the two branches, when they started to diverge, and main. So all the changes that have been from the beginning of slash screens PR to now that have been applied to main. That's what all of these changes are. In here are the commits that slash screen made. So I just have these for us to refer to if need be. Because now we're going to go through and see what changes everyone else made to the main tree and what changes are supposed to be in the, in the PR. So let's start working on these constants. This one looks pretty easy. So in general, I want to opt for things that are in head. This is what I was saying at the very beginning. Head means the main tree. So anything that's in head, we're going to have as a preference because that's what's currently in the main tree. Anything that is not in the head section, so here's head. All of this is in head. The equal sign is on balance, and then all of this is what's in slash screens commit. So generally we're going to go with head. However, slash screen, you made a bunch of commits, a bunch of changes in your commits. So where we made your intentional changes, that's what we want to keep. And then we want to merge the two.
This is an intentional change where get storage was no longer a so in line 73 here you can see it says get storage is null. Since it's no longer a resource, we wanted to change it to equals null pointer.
Yep. Okay. So I think we got that there. So this file is done. Okay, that looks good. Next, register types. Okay, this will be easy as well. So head, let's start with all of head. And then you added the region manager. And then all of this stuff is old. Because we already have storage in there and util. And the textureless stuff is deprecated. So the only thing you added is the region manager.
Yes.
Okay. And let's go with the header file first. Okay, I got a few changes in here. Do we still want storage.h?
Oh, that.
Texture.
Hang on, let me bring up my project on my side because I don't remember if. Oh, sorry, I bonked a bunch of stuff. I don't remember if I actually used the import or not. I think there's a reason I did that, but I don't remember what it is. Okay, and then terrain 3D dot H. Oh, in terrain 3D dot H, I don't even import that, at least on my side, I think.
Okay, so you must have removed it. Now,
Yeah, I might have removed it.
now this is strange. Storage is still here, and it's not in the conflict. Let me look at your file in the PR.
Me too.
No, it does look like you removed it.
Yeah, I removed it on my side.
I don't know why it
So
hasn't been removed here. So let's remove it anyway.
yeah, be rid of it.
And we do want your region manager. Okay, let's go with that for now. And then build meshes. Where's the conflict?
Yeah,
here?
that's your stuff with the foliage thing.
Okay, so we have set storage, region manager type of storage, but then we also have this old set storage, which needs to go away.
Oh, right, and there's going to be a few conflicts because your foliage instancer interacts with the currently existing storage, right?
Yes.
Oh wait. Oh wait. From the PR's perspective, I think Terrain 3D storage is untouched actually, because I deleted it for a while and then added it back in so that so it could be deprecated. Well,
Okay, well, we've compressed all of those commits.
yeah.
That was the first part of this, is all of those commits, if you added and then removed or whatever, all that's compressed down. Here is so this is all of your C++ code changes in this block right here. Now,
Right. Okay.
all 50 commits compressed down to these 10 files, whatever. So here is.
Never mind. It is not untouched.
So we are indeed removing the H for storage, header file, and removing this, and removing the set storage, git storage. Okay. So let's look at if that has cleaned up the files. Set storage directory, set storage on the region manager, and then remove the other. Okay, that looks fine. Okay, so I think we got through the header file fine. Now, this is the C++ files. This is a little bit more involved. Let's go to the first. Okay, build meshes is correct. Clear is not. That should go away. And here's build. Okay, here's your line, storage. So this is the only line that we want to keep. The rest of this can go away. And we just want to change how storage is accessed right there. Okay, this is all build meshes. So that's done. That took out a lot of errors. Okay, and then how this gets cleaned up. We're going to. Okay, this is, you're expecting to do a mem delete safely on storage, is that correct?
Yeah, I remember doing that
Okay, great.
to get rid of the object.
Okay. Oh, is there more? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
set
Oh, I
storage.
guess it's extra spaces.
Okay, the set storage here, I'm not entirely sure we there's nothing on head, so it's just a matter of this code here. Let's look at your commit. Is train 3D. Set storage. Okay, so you do have a change to storage equals null pointer, which is
Mm-hmm.
this. But I was looking at this code. I was looking at this code yesterday. Clear is now gone. And if this is null,
Yeah, well, I'm looking at that. Why would it say clearing storage if it's null? It should be not equals null, right?
no, because we're setting it with a null. When you set it
Oh,
with a
okay.
null, it's saying empty. You're setting it with an empty.
All right, I guess that's fine then.
I'm not sure though if we need this anyway, because as soon as initialize runs over, it's going to create a new storage anyway right here. So
Mm.
it is going to clear it. Where'd it go? So it's set storage. So we are clearing the storage anyway. I think it's okay. We can look at it later on. For merging purposes, I think that's fine. Okay, so I think now we have closed out all the conflicts on, okay, come on this guy. Yeah. Okay, let's see if there's another easy one. Material looks okay. Storage is pretty good. Okay, so let's do this. What are we conflicting with down here? About 140. Oh, this will be easy. Okay. These are all my changes. So we got head.
Yeah, you want to do that. That you want that to be head, yeah?
Head except for, let's see. I want this. Yep, I want that. Okay. Nice and easy. Let's look at it again. Over. Well, it's not even on here. Okay, fine. Now let's do material. I think this will be easier. And where are we? We're updating regions. Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember changing this file at all, so I think just head.
We'll know we've got storage.
Oh.
So let's separate out the conflict.
Oh, I see. I guess I did change it. Oh, yeah, that's right, because I did a rename symbol at one point.
So we want head with the exception of the new class name.
Right.
Okay. Okay, nice and easy. And now a lot of changes in here on the editor.
Yeah, I don't remember doing a whole lot with the editor here. So this shouldn't be too hard. Other than, yeah, just changing the storage, the ref terrain 3D storage to a pointer to terrain 3D manager.
Okay. I noticed this the other day. This is unidentified. I wonder if we need to include the header file. Which is what called?
Oh, yeah, that would make sense.
Is this what it's called? Terrain 3D Region Manager? Okay, that error went away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we got some more errors. Okay, this is... I want head with your class name there. Okay. All right. Okay, nice and easy. Now, oh, we got another error up here. Oh, the error did not go away. That's fine. There may be some things that are broken. I mean, there's definitely going to be some things that are broken and not complete with this PR. The implementation of the instancer you have not even touched because that was in, we're rebasing all of that in here. So you're going to have to still do more work on this PR.
Yeah, I was waiting until the foliage instancer got in so that I could integrate it into
yes,
the PR.
So
And also I'm sure some solution files or project files or whatever Visual Studio uses is panicked because it's always panicked.
So we're just going to get this merged in so that Git is happy, and then you can take it from there offline. Okay, so this is all head. What function are we in? We're in, oh, collect undo data. Okay. Yeah, so I redesigned, as you and I talked, we redesigned the undo system. So here's where the instancer is, and it's pulling multi-meshes out of storage, but that's all very different now. So I'm going to leave this. This is broken. It won't compile, and we're going to leave it broken until you get the opportunity to come in here and implement that aspect of it.
Yeah, righto.
Move it over. But as far as from the storage class to the region manager. Okay, so this is all the old undo data, which is gone.
Yeah, I was faffing about with that a bit before you said you were gonna, we talked and you were gonna redo it and all that.
Okay, now we've got this. Okay, no important changes there on your end. And then all of these are for the old undo style. Okay, now we're into apply undo. Okay, all of yours can go, oh, not all of your changes. This is a new one I haven't seen. Set all regions modified. Okay, I think all of that is done, except now we need to get the region manager on these types. Okay, here the get multi-meshes, set multi-meshes is broken.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to implement that on my side then.
And then head is gone. Those are already implemented up above. And okay. Okay, I think that's it. We have an error for this multi-meshes. We have an error for this multi-meshes. We have an error for this, which I'll leave it to you to figure out why. I thought adding in that header file would have fixed it, but it does not. Not our concern for now. That'll just be on your plate to address. Okay. Looks like we've gone through all of these with I added this. Okay, I think we're good. The rebase should be pretty much done because the other two commits have no code, no C++ code. So let's go to actions and continue rebase. And see what we get. Okay, I think we're done. Here's main. Are we done? We're missing a commit. We're somehow it dropped a commit. That's weird. Good thing we got backups. May have been a problem with Git. May have been a problem with source tree. But yes, somehow that commit has just disappeared. The commit with the conversion wizard. Okay, so let's go back to the pre-rebase. What's going on here? Maybe, are we still in the middle of a rebase? No? Oh, I just didn't have all branches selected. Okay. Okay, somehow it dropped this commit, so we're just going to cherry pick it. Where is it? Oh, we got some conflicts. That's okay. So we are in the middle of a we are in the middle of a issue. Okay, well anyway, let's we have some conflicts with this. Let's look at your branch on, let's see, this is editor.gd. Looking at your changes. So I want head probably. And then you've got all of these. I don't see any changes that you would have made in there. What changes do I see? There's the wizard pop-up. And then in exit tree, you've got a wizard pop-up. And then in ready, you have some wizard pop-up stuff. Okay, let's see if there's any more. Okay, so I was confused thinking that we were done, but apparently I had that one commit, and so that's why the commit was missing, is because we're in the middle of editing it. And then I'm sure cherry picking that commit over again, I'm sure didn't help, but it is the same commit, so Git probably ignored it. Let's okay. We're probably in the middle of a cherry pick. Yes, we are. So I've merged, I fixed the conflict. So let's do git cherry pick continue. Okay, now let's see the status. Status looks clean. No changes. Let's look at the history. Okay, so that one file, that one commit, it looks like we did successfully cherry pick it. So here's main. And then off of main, we've got /screens, region implementation, these demo files, and then this conversion wizard. 3 commits, that's all we wanted. Let's just reorder them. And then we'll push it up to the server and we'll be done. All right, I'm just reordering the last one, so the demo is at the end. Demo files are at the end. Here we go. Now I'm going to push this up to, actually, I'll make one more. Well, it's fine. Let's go ahead and push this up to the server now. And we've now done that update. Let's look at the server.
Commits 3.
Yep, nice and clean.
All right.
So now /screen on your end, delete your local branch or rename it if you want to keep a backup of it, that's fine. Rename it. And then check out this branch, which would be like maybe origin / resource chunks. We'll get it from your server once you've renamed your local branch. Okay, I think that's everything. We've gone through, we had 55 commits, 2 merges, cleaned all of that. It was a long haul. For those of you that were watching it through the whole thing, thank you for sticking around. Looks like 2 hours. We went through all of these commits, reorganized them, reordered them, separated the contents, edited them continuously, mercilessly, until we got everything down to one commit for all C++ code, one commit for some GD script code, and then one commit for some files. So with this, hopefully this will teach you guys that when you're in a branch on a server, you basically have limitless control over your own commits or over your own branch. You can reorder, change these commits all around. If I had messed up this branch, I could have just renamed this and gone to one of these other branches and renamed it to the new name, and then continue to modify it however I wanted. As long as I just did the force push at the end, then I could have pushed whatever I want into this. In fact, what I could do right now, if I were so inclined, or if I had messed up, I could come back to this backup branch, change into this backup branch, rename it so that it's resources chunks. I could force push this, and GitHub will happily accept it, and it'll be in the exact same spot it was 2 hours ago. Once we merge this PR, then that's when the commits get locked in. But otherwise, until that point, a PR author / screen, me, anybody has we can reorder, change these commits all around as much as we want. The only restriction that we cannot do is rename the branch that the PR is tied to. But otherwise, all the contents of the PR we can change as much as we want. Okay, any questions or final thoughts before we go / screen? Otherwise, we'll wrap it up.
Yeah. So on the original branch, if we go back to the backup, so there were two merges. There was one that was yellow, I think, and then one that was like some kind of purplish color.
Yes.
Yeah, that one that had one commit in it. So there were two. Okay. What I'm trying to say is, how did this happen? How did I screw this up?
So there's two merges.
Mm-hmm.
The second one's easy.
Yeah, I remember you had committed something while I was working on stuff, and then I pulled, and then it gave me some message. I don't totally remember what happened.
Yeah, so the problem here, back on May 11th, was you and I were talking about something. I fixed it on your branch. That's my commit here, not there. That one's my commit. So I fixed it, and I pushed that into your branch. And then the mistake was that you didn't download any changes. You were doing some work. You committed your changes here. And then when you tried to push up to the server, the server said, hold on, there's already a commit here that you don't have. So we have a problem. So what you should have done then is detected or pulled or something to pull down my commit from the server into your branch locally. And then you could have committed your commit here, and then you could have pushed it up to the server, and the server would have had no problem. But because you had made a commit here and I had made a commit prior to you, the server said, sorry, no go. And the only thing that you had available to you was to do this merge. And that's what made this thing. Had you been aware of it, you could have, well, I mean, you were, whatever. The server made you aware of it. Had
Yeah,
you,
I didn't know that you had done that before trying to push.
yeah, so at that time, what you could have then done is did some rebasing of these commits.
Oh, rebase. Yeah, okay, that
Basically,
I could see that.
everything that we were just doing today. You could have said, okay, well, I see I got my commit in later. You could have done some rebasing in order to um, get your commit out into a different order or something like that. So basically the interactive rebase is the tool to do this stuff. Um, so this one's the easy explanation.
Hmm.
Now this other one, let me look at it from the spreadsheet perspective again. This is where I went through all of the commits here. So we've got initial terrain 3D implementation all the way to fixed zeros, and another one, initial terrain 3D implementation to fixed zeros. So your original commit, PR, has all of these duplicated. Here's where they merged in.
Oh, I see. I tried to push that to remote, I think. And something bad happened, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what, but at the end of the day, um, what we were left with was this commit. This PR begins with however many that is, 8 commits duplicated twice and merged in together before continuing on.
Okay, I might actually end up doing the same thing again. So I tried to pull in your changes on my side right now. And so I did a git switch resource chunks. And it said I switched to a new branch resource chunks and then branch resource chunks set up to track origin / resource chunks. So does that mean that if I try pushing to my new branch, it would start screwing things up again? Or is that how things are supposed to happen?
What branch are you in right now?
Right now, I am in. So I had removed my previous resource chunks.
Okay.
And then, well, I tried to check out the origin, but then it put me into a detached head state.
Okay.
And so I ran git switch resource chunks, which apparently created a new branch called resource chunks, a new local branch, I assume. Switched to it, and then set up resource chunks to track origin / resource chunks, which is the remote one.
Okay. I never use git switch, so I can't comment on
Oh,
that.
that's just what the command line told me to use. Um, so how would you have done this?
Why don't you start again? Delete your local resources chunks branch.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Git branch D resource chunks. Deleted branch. Okay.
So when you run git branch, what does it say?
Git branch. Uh, main and chunks backup,
Which one is
which
selected?
is my own backup, not yours.
Which one are you currently checked out
I'm
to?
currently on main. I checked out main and then deleted the old branch.
Okay. So now try git checkout origin / resource underscore chunks.
Chunks. Okay, so now I'm in a detached head state.
And
Um,
what's
I don't totally understand what that state is or how to get out of it.
what else does
It,
it
it
say?
Well, it says you're in a detached head state, blah, blah, blah. If you want to create a new branch to retain commit to create, you may do so now or later by using C with the switch command. I did not do that. Git switch C and then new branch name, or undo this operation with git switch dash. And head is now at DA39062 add demo files, which is that one.
Okay. So that sounds all right. Why don't you go ahead? So it's suggesting you to make a local branch tracking there using git switch. That's fine with the command that it gives you. Let's go ahead and do it again and see what it gives us.
Okay, so I should do git switch C.
Is it this? Is this what it's saying you should do?
Yeah. Wait, no. It says git switch C and then a new branch name, so it doesn't track.
Yeah, the branch name is resource underscore chunks.
Okay.
So it doesn't have the track, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it doesn't have the track. It doesn't tell me to do the track.
Okay, that's fine. Do whatever it is suggesting.
Okay, git switch C resource chunks. Switch to new branch resource chunks. All right. Nothing appears to have changed in my file layout.
So it gave you back to the command line.
I think so. Let me try refreshing Windows or Visual Studio rather code.
Run git status.
Git status. On branch resource chunks. And then it gives me some stuff that I have unstaged, which I want to keep unstaged.
Wait.
Which was the 8K file. I didn't want to commit that. Does
it say anything else after on branch?
No. Well, it says untracked files, which is the EXR stuff.
Above
anything else? No. No. So should I
type in git log?
Git log.
And does your display look like mine?
Let's see.
Three new commits that are tied from /screen resource chunks. You can see up here, this is what which is 3 commits off of main.
Yeah, it does look like yours. Okay, it looks like yours.
Okay, so quit out of that and type git space pull.
Git pull. There's no tracking information for the current branch. Okay, so I want to do git pull origin /resource. If I spelled it right. Resource chunks.
Maybe we need to do this and add in that track. I mean, you can do that. You can do the git pull, but you need to set up the tracking.
Okay, if I wish to set tracking information for this branch, you can do so with, git branch, set upstream 2 equals origin /resource chunks, resource chunks. Okay. And then enter, branch set up to track, and then git pull. Already up to date. Okay.
Now do a git push.
Git push. Everything up to date.
Okay, you should be good to go.
All right. I think I should be good to go. Crisis averted. I think.
Okay.
All right. I think that's everything. So the first merge issue could have been solved with a rebase if I had known about your commit beforehand. And then the other one was probably because I screwed up syncing my remote branch with my local branch. Because I remember having trouble with that.
Yeah, possibly. From this information, I cannot tell what happened back then.
That's just my theory, but anyway.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Sorry again for being late. I thought it was an hour earlier than it was because of the sunlight.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining us. And all right, you and I will continue chatting and developing on the Discord server. For any of our other viewers, thanks again for hanging out. All right, guys. We'll call it a day from there. See you.